much to describe like what they're doing this season.
Yeah.
But, how much did you see that not only as a coach but as a player from your time as well, like in 91, 92, and then 16, 17, with the way those teams battled through?
The Penguins just don't use excuses. Anytime you walk in that room, whether there's 4 guys hurt or there's a devastating injury, nobody ever talks about it. Like it's none of the poor as me type of thing. And I think, that's why I give a lot of respect to Mike Sullivan. He just doesn't allow it in the room, and Sidney Crosby doesn't allow it, and Evgeny Malkin, they just don't allow that sort of talk, and that's why they're so successsul during all the those injuries.
Yeah, what can you say about the job Sully's done this year?
He's unreal. He's always been a great coach. It's what he's doing this year is really, I really take my hat off for what he's doing.
There's a lot of hate right now in the Battle of Alberta. How do you manage that room and that bench tomorrow? I guess tomorrow is Saturday.
Yeah, I'm staying out of it. I'm staying out of that one. But hey, it's listen. We grew up in that type of environment. At the end of the day, when you're off the ice, it's a different situation. But hey, they're both competitive guys, that organization, and they're all going for the playoffs. So I'm going to stay out of the way of that one.
Bill McDavid and Tocchet line because Draisaitl, I'm not sure if he was serious or not, but he said he'd get off the ice.
Oh, is that? I don't know. I don't know. Those guys, they shouldn't come off the ice anyways. If I was Draisaitl, so you know what I'm saying, they'll be standing on the ice the whole time anyways.
Coach, you don't want to hate him. Are we making too much of this?
I mean, I enjoy those storylines. I'll probably want to watch that game. I think a lot of people want to watch that game, so it's exciting. I think when there's 30-something games left, you're going to get a lot more of this type of, maybe not to this degree, but a lot of different, whether it's hate or intensity, it's going to pick up.
Hockey players, the extent to which they battle on the ice,
Yeah.
brawling sometimes, and then coming to events like this and rubbing elbows and kind of being buzzed.
Yeah.
A little unique in some ways for hockey.
Yeah, it's a little bit more now. The guys are more buddies than when we played. I'm not saying you carried grudges, but I remember when I must have fought Scott Stevens 10 times. You see him in the summer somewhere. It's not like you're gonna, it's not like you're sitting down with him. There's still that respect. I think nowadays guys are more friendly toward each other. They hang out with each other more than they did in our day. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just it's different.
But how might this have played out?
Sorry, bud.
A few years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, with guys coming into an all-star break after tensions kind of being high, would they have been friendly, in your time?
Yeah, I think there's a respect factor. There's a respect factor. I remember Wayne Gretzky telling me when the Canada Cup with the Islanders and Oilers, when they had the young Oilers were trying to win the Stanley Cups, and the Islanders had those consecutive runs. There was a little, not so much animosity, but there wasn't a lot of like between those groups of players. So I think there's a little bit more, I want to say grudges, but I think back then there's a little bit more animosity towards that stuff. Now I think because guys are more friendly with each other, it's not as much. But that's a good rivalry. It always has been.
Coach, in general, being here as coach of the Pacific Division All-Star team, how does it feel?
Oh, it's great. Obviously, I've been laid that in. I'm a big fan of Gerald Gallant, so I actually talked to him, so I just wanted to get his blessing because I feel kind of bad about it. But, I'm here to represent the Coyotes. We didn't Kemper getting hurt, so I think somebody should represent the Coyotes, so that's kind of nice that way.
You mentioned that you were here because of the team, here for the team, about how these players have played through the first stretch of games. Can you touch on that? What this team has done up to this point?
Yeah, I think they've other than the last 3 weeks, I think our consistency level's been there. We've been there at the top for a while now, and now we're in a situation, have a bad week and be in 5th place. So we understand that. This break is a good time for our players and our organization. And now it's downhill. 31 games left. It's all downhill. And we got some young guys that I think they understand it's going to get harder. It's going to be really hard. If you think it's hard now, it's really hard now. So I think that's the taste that they're going to have to climb the ladder. Sorry.
How has this redefined job stability among coaches?
It's funny. I was just talking to Todd Reardon and Chief and Bruce Cassidy. I said, Butch Cassidy. I think you don't think about. I don't think about that sort of stuff. But when a guy like Gallant goes down, it makes you think sometimes. I think the partnership with the general manager and the owner is huge. because sometimes things are out of your control and some things that are. But as a coach, you can't worry about that sort of stuff. I can't think that way of ever getting fired. Well, I mean, you know what? You get that instant wow. I'll be honest with you, but next day I go in the office, it's like I try to keep my eye on the prize. I mean, I can't think that way because a lot of good coaches are getting fired, a lot of good coaches are getting rehired. So I think it's just timing.
With the completed time with morning skates, what's your
Yeah.
approach to mornings? A lot more teams are making lunch, but what's your
Yeah.
rest?
I'm not a
With your team?
I'm not a big morning skate guy. I think it's something that the game day is for the player to get ready. Obviously, the coach has to give the pre-scout and all that stuff in its direct time. But to me, I'm not a big believer in morning skate. I think it's the player's time to get ready at 7 o'clock game, and we can facilitate to make it better for them. But I'm not a big fan of it. Well, I've talked to some really good people. Andy O'Brien, is with Pittsburgh, is in the health science, a great trainer. He believes that players stay at the rink too long. So if you're at a morning skate, you're there for 3 hours, and then you go to the rink before the game. You're there 3 hours before a game. You're actually there for 7 hours. He thinks it's a detriment, and I'm starting to believe that. I don't think the players have to be at the rink that long. You're looking for a window of 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock to play their optimal way. What's the best way? I'm not necessarily thinking being there 6 hours a day is the right way, me personally.
How was that conversation with Gerard?
Great. I mean, he made me feel comfortable. I mean, he's just an awesome guy. Like, I think he's this terrific guy, and his big thing was it's the nature of the beast, and he's going to enjoy his grandkids. And I just told him, you're not going to be out of a job. I don't think he's going to be out of a job very long.
What were your plans before you got the call?
I didn't really have anything major. Just around, we live in Scottsdale, so I honestly, I didn't feel like getting on a plane. I'm sick of planes, so I didn't feel like going anywhere. Some guys went to Cabo, but it's only an hour and a half, but still, that's too long for me right now.
With the race so tight in the Pacific Division, I mean, how does that affect how you go about game to game and with load management with the guys?
It's more for me for the players, their psyche, to try to make them understand that, one loss or one win is not going to define anything. But our biggest thing is to make every understand how hard it's going to be. Like, you have to embrace the pain and all that stuff, because if you look at that standings, there's 5 teams right in there. On 1 week, you're either in first place or you're in last place, or 5th place or whatever. So I think it's just really everything that the coach does now is for the player, their psyche, and to make them feel comfortable.
Can you remember as a player or a coach a race being this tight, this late in the season?
A couple of times when I played, but not to this tight. No, not to this degree. I mean, it's so tight. I mean, like I said, 1 week you can be in first. You have a good week, you're in first place, and it's just. But I think that's the way it's going to be. I don't really believe there's going to be teams falling off. I really don't. I think it's going to be like this, and we all got to buckle in.